Good morning. How are you? I'm Mary Winters. I'm with About Senior Solutions, and you are watching Visionary Aging. I have my tea this morning. I did a little test on myself as far as my sensitivity to different things, and I actually have a sensitivity to caffeine. So years ago, I did stop drinking coffee, but I am drinking tea, which still has a little bit of caffeine in it. So anyway, thought that was kind of interesting. Also, we have something called the Daily Perk, and we can start sending those to you. I have a copy here, something that you'll get every single day. It's kind of fun. It has just some strange fact as far as some weird thing the day is, as far as like July 1st is going to be International Joke Day. There's International Hot Dog Day, all kinds of silly things to talk about. There are little perks as far as talking about puns and facts and little things that take place in history. But the other thing that's kind of fun is the second page has a word scramble, and you can get the results from the previous one here in the corner. So if you would like to receive that, we will send that off to you for free. And today, actually, I'll ask Steve if he knows what day today is. But we have triplets turning 100 today. We also have Ted Moreno on. He is a life coach, hypnotherapist, author, and just very sought after speaker. So feel very fortunate to be able to talk with him. And we're going to talk about some of the things that seniors really have a challenge with, and he gets them through some of those challenges, which is fantastic. So let me go on to our 100th birthday ladies here. They have a picture of them from when they were in their 90s. And unfortunately, one of the ladies has passed away, but two of the three are still doing very well, even though one had COVID recently. But Edna Aaron and or Edith, her middle name was Constance, um, turned 100. I mean, how amazing is that? They are celebrated by their younger brother, O'Neill, and they're from Alabama, the Spring Hills community in Butler County. And how rare were triplets in 1921? That is the year they were born. And this is kind of an interesting fact. In the dozen states, when all over the country, all over the state, there were like 1.7 million reported live births, and then among those births were over 20,000 cases of twins. So that's still pretty remarkable, and only 250 cases of triplets. That was in the entire country. So obviously that was very rare. And Edna and Aaron weighed only 4 pounds, but their sister Edith who they also called Con, she weighed 7 pounds, but they were all very healthy. And their older sister was noted in an article, her name was Freddie, that she was only 3.5 when they were born. She remembers when they came home, and she said it was a huge deal that just people from all over came and dropped off amazing gifts. Even the Judge Winkler, came by with 3 little rings for the girls, in which all of them still possess. And she said, times were really slim. We didn't even have a refrigerator or an ice box then. We went out and milked the cows 3 times a day to bring food in for the growing triplets. And then there were 9 children. And so I think they took care of each other, basically. And the women obviously grew up, they married, although Con never married. She helped and was a very instrumental part of their families. And just want to talk about some of the little things that they would do, just playing in the fields and making corn cob dolls, and just things that we just don't really hear about anymore. It's really fantastic. So I know they must be missing their sister, Con, but these other 2 beautiful ladies, Erin and Edna, happy birthday to you, and angel wings to Con, and congratulations to your whole family. And I hope you have a fantastic week, a fantastic month, and that you celebrate the world out of your 100th. So very, very special indeed. So let's go on and we'll talk about our caregiver question here. Let's see if we can bring that up. And here we go. Hi, Steve.
Good morning.
I got
How are
your
you?
intro in. Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yes,
I mean,
I'm relaxed. It's a relaxing Friday start to the Friday.
oh, yeah. No, that's really great. I mean, how often do you ever hear of triplets turning 100? I mean, two of them made it to 100. It's pretty
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it
the first
is.
time I've heard of that, actually.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And we had twins in one of the classes when I was growing up. And other than that, actually, we had two sets of twins. And you don't hear of triplets very often. It's very rare. So even
Yeah,
now, even with in vitro, it's still really rare.
right. I have an uncle on my dad's side, and two of his three kids have twins.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
special. So guess what? So we have our daily perk now that we're sending people. So if anybody would like one,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get that out to them. But guess what day today is? I'm
Well, it's a
looking.
couple of different days, right? So
Well, there are
the
probably
day
tons of
I
different days.
right, the day I know of is take your dog to work day.
Oh, today?
Yes.
That kind of sounds fun. Well,
Yeah.
on the daily perk, we pulled up that it is International Food Truck Day.
Ooh, yours is better than mine.
And then I also think, fun fact wise, 1951, the first TV commercial came out.
1951. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Interesting, huh?
Wow. I have
We've
some
come a
trivia, but I
long way,
can't share it.
baby. Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to wait a couple months to share with you, but I have some good trivia like that. Remind me. Put a pin in
All
it.
right. Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. So what caregiver question did you get today?
So the caregiver question today is just very appropriate for the heat wave that we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
How do we stay hydrated? How do we stay fit and healthy in this heat?
Okay. Well, I actually talked a little bit about caffeine and how my body doesn't apparently
Hmm.
process it as well. So you do want to stay away from dehydrating items like caffeine, alcohol, but you also, want to recognize that you need more water. But there are foods and different drinks that you can have that have more. They're more hydrating. Pedialyte, Gatorade, which is not necessarily my favorite, but coconut water is actually fantastic. It assimilates more
Yes.
to our bodies than any other kind of a drink that way. And, there are some foods that are more hydrating, like melons and berries and cucumbers and asparagus and different things that way. So that might be another way to stay hydrated. I know in some of our senior communities, they put hydration stations out. You might want to, set something up where you just have reminders of getting through a certain amount of water, or
Right.
some juices. Popsicles are a great way to get some hydration too. Those are kind of fun on a hot day. So just find fun ways
Excellent.
to do it. Yeah, or put some fun things, some fruit into some ice to make your drink a little more fun, a little fizzy. So those are little ways you can attack it.
I like it.
All right. Well, we also have Ted Moreno on today. He is a hypnotherapist, so I'm excited to talk about him, with him, and talk a little bit about some of the techniques that he uses. And he does work with seniors too, so we'll get some specifics on how he supports and gives some really good information to them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Should be a great show.
I think so. So let me go ahead and I'll find a little picture of Ted here. And
I'll see you at the end.
all righty. Sounds good. Thanks. Bye. All right. We are very lucky to have Mr. Moreno on with us. He is an award-winning hypnotherapist. He is an author, as well as a performance coach. He's a sought out speaker, and his clients, he works with them to achieve freedom from fear, anxiety, self-limiting beliefs, and bad habits. Ted also works with professional men and women for goal achievement, financial abundance, and career success, with more than 15 years of mastering the art of motivating people to take action. He brings a lifetime of expertise in the field of personal development and human potential. Ted is an honors graduate of the Hypnosis Motivation Institute, the nation's first accredited college of hypnotherapy, where he is currently a senior instructor. Ted combines his life experiences, compassion, and humor with his expertise in hypnotherapy and imagery techniques to help clients move past limitations and create transformational change in their lives. Ted is the author of The Ultimate Guide to Letting Go of Negativity and Fear and Loving Life, and the co-author of 101 Tips for Creating Prosperity and Abundance for Professional Women. Both are available on Amazon.com. He also hosts his popular podcast, Ted in Your Head. I think that's a great title. Available on iTunes and at www.tedinyourhead.com. And without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Moreno. And let's see, where did he go? Let's see if his screen went out. I think he is not there. So let's see if we can get Ted back. Huh, okay. Ted's not here. Let's motivate him to come back. Let's see. I'm going to bring Steve back for just a second. And he's gone too. I'm all by myself, but that's okay. I am going to see what we can do to find Ted. I'm going to refresh for just a second and see if maybe that brings him back. Hold with us. You know what? I do not know what happened to Mr. Moreno. So I'm going to go ahead and just chat a little bit with you. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the fun things that we've been doing. I'm also going to show you a fun little commercial. Hold on just a second. So, in honor of, it's going to be a day of faux pas. That was in honor of the very first commercial from 1951. So thank you very much. I'm also going to show you a little bit about our planning tools, because I think it's super important to know what you want now so that you can set yourself up for the future. So the way we look at planning, it's the McDonald's winner's wheel. We look at, what do you want? What are your wishes? What do you want to achieve? What will keep you safe? And what can you afford, or what is your budget? Where are you financially? And when we marry those three, I can create a plan for you, and we find that little happy space right in the middle. But that dial that you see around the three circles symbolizes how things change over time. So what we want today may not be the same thing that we want in several weeks or a year or a month. Well, usually it's probably the same within a month, but in any event, long term, we're able to go ahead and plot your future and make sure that you have what you need. I am going to, let's see, it looks like Ted's back. So let me see where he is. No, it's just not showing. So let me see if I can get him to sign back in again. I'm going to get him to sign back in. Let's see, Mr. Moreno. back in. We have a really great program called Be Live, and it's pretty easy for one person to use, but we do have some little glitches and some complications on occasion. So I am not seeing him in the green room, and so I'm going to keep talking. Let's see. We're also working on more visionary aging and looking at the possibility of adding care management into your into your estate planning documents. We have a fine attorney, Susanna Cohen from Han and Han, who is presenting some of the visionary aging material. And essentially, you have an opportunity, especially in special needs trust, in adding an individual to help make decisions or to support that special needs child or special needs adult that you may have in your estate planning. Well, you can do the same thing for you yourself. And this comes in especially handy when we have a son or daughter who may not live close, or son or daughter who we rely on to make decisions for us, but care management can get through the process so much faster. So I can see that Mr. Moreno is back. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. And here we go. He will be with us for just a second here. Hey, there you are. I just saw for a while. It got a little hairy for me.
I've been floating in digital limbo for a while.
There you go. That's what happens. What can I say? I think it was a full moon last night, so
I think it was, yes.
Naturally, this takes place. So tell me, I mean, this is so exciting. You've written a couple books. Maybe you can highlight a few mentions from that. And then I want to talk a little bit about how you affect seniors too.
Well, I noticed at the very beginning of the show, you had your image up there, and it said visionary aging, right? Which I really like. And then you mentioned 3 things you could do to have visionary aging, right? Plan ahead, stay in control, avoid a crisis. So
Sure.
I think that's really important to have an intention as a senior, to have an intention as to how you want to live. It's easy when faced with the problems of aging to stay in a chair all day or avoid the risk of getting out and being active. Yet that's so incredibly important, not only for quality of life, but for health as well. So I think that having an intention and even writing it down about how you want to live your senior years is incredibly important, because you can't hit a target that you can't see.
No, that's very true. Very true. And I think it becomes a catch-22 as well. Somebody is afraid of falling, so they sit more, and then they lose more and more of their ability to ambulate. So it really does spiral when someone's fear outweighs their wanting to walk or have that independence. But boy, oh boy, it's tough. So tell me, how do you work with a senior facing those types of issues?
Well, first of all, let's talk about what a hypnotherapist does and
Right.
what hypnosis is, okay? And there's a lot of misconceptions about that, but essentially hypnosis is a state that we're all in every single day of our lives. We're in hypnosis when we first wake up for about half an hour. We're in hypnosis at night before we go to bed. If you've ever had the experience of driving your car and missing your off-ramp because you're spacing out, that's a trance state. So it's very natural. But the thing to remember about being in hypnosis is that you are in a state of what's called suggestibility. That's just a fancy word meaning that when you're in hypnosis, your mind is open to suggestions. So we create this hypnotic state with people. Their mind becomes open to suggestions, and we use the power of suggestion to help change people's minds, literally. One more thing about hypnosis. When you're in hypnosis, you're awake, you're aware, and you're fully in control. So I just want to dispel any misconceptions people might have seen from like movies and stuff.
Sure.
That is not true. Not only that, but being in hypnosis is very, very relaxing. So it's an opportunity to vent out or release tension and stress and fear, which of course itself is very therapeutic. So when seniors come to me, there's a a very specific set of problems that they're coming to me for. First and foremost is fear. A lot of seniors have fear of falling, fear of getting outside, and for many people, fear of getting older and fear of dying.
Sure.
If seniors have a medical condition, there's a lot of fear around that. They get caught up in thinking about it all the time. Right. Which, of course, the more you think about something, the more expansive it gets in your experience.
Exactly. And I also see people kind of owning or possessing a disease, maybe my diabetes, my heart condition. And
Yeah.
maybe you can touch on that later as far as kind of possessing that as like my disease.
Right. So
avoid it.
exactly. Let's address that now. So it's all about identifying with that particular disease. Like, I am that disease, right? And of course, that's not healthy to, own the disease or identify the disease. And that's not to invalidate the real challenges that people have when they have medical conditions or diseases. But people don't have to be defined by what's going wrong with their bodies or what's not working right. It's much more healthy emotionally and physically to be defined by what I can do or what seniors can do or the goals that they still have, right? And those, of course, are the things that I help seniors focus on. So helping them to move their bodies, that is number one. Once you stop moving, it's very difficult to get moving again, right? Isn't that one of Newton's laws of physics, of body in motion, right?
It's true. Yeah.
Yes. So helping people to stay in movement, whatever that looks like, even if it's just walking. A lot of people will take a soup can and do curls with a soup can. And there's so many videos out there for seniors and particular exercises that are safe that seniors can do. So I can't stress how incredibly important that is. And I help my seniors to get motivated about doing those exercises consistently on a daily basis. I think the other thing that is very important is to have a very positive attitude, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the people who we're around, who influence us. I think that's also very important to keep people who are positive around us.
Absolutely. So, if there's caretakers coming in and they're grumpy or they're not fun, get rid of them, bring somebody new in. I know that's easier said than done, but a positive attitude is so important. Maintaining that sense of being lucky to be alive and still doing the things that you can do, right? And there's always something you can do. Now, this is simple, but it's not easy. I totally get that, right? But that's where I come in as a hypnotherapist, helping people to have the belief, helping seniors to have the hope, and actually being motivated to take the actions that create a higher quality of life.
Yeah, that's so meaningful too. And who wouldn't want to be in a positive state versus feeling miserable? Talk about maybe some of the clients you work with who have a lot of pain. Is that something that you work with people?
Absolutely. And, one of the things about pain is, pain creates anxiety and suffering, right? I hate this pain. Why do I have this pain? Losing a sense of hope. Am I going to be in pain forever? People start getting resentful to their bodies. My body is letting me down. And then, of course, this creates a resentment and anger and impatience with medical health and wellness practitioners, right? So, acceptance really is one of the steps, as difficult as that can be. When you're 80 years old, there probably should be some acceptance, like I'm not going to have the energy or the mobility that I used to have when I was maybe 40 or 50. So like kind of dealing with what is and working with what you have, the mobility that you do have, right? The health that you do have. And then using hypnosis, we can definitely bring down or mitigate that pain using the power of suggestion. Okay. There's two things. There's pain, which is the physical feeling of discomfort. And then there's suffering.
Right.
Suffering is the meaning you make of the pain, right? So in a court of law, you can sue for pain and suffering. So they are two different things. We can have pain without suffering, right? So I work to help remove the suffering, to mitigate the pain, and to take the actions that might help that situation. Good eating, good sleeping, like I said, movement, remembering to take medications, bringing in maybe massage therapists or other, acupuncturists that can help mitigate that pain. So there's a number of different things that people can do to bring that pain down and make life more comfortable.
That sounds great. Tell us a little bit more about the books that you've written too.
So I've written a book called The Ultimate Guide to Letting Go of Negativity and Loving Life. So I wrote that book from a collection of blog posts. So I was writing a blog post every week for numerous years. And essentially they were, stories or lessons or experiences that I learned from my life. And so I learned that you could publish a book very easily on Amazon. So I published this book, and it's just a series of short chapters that I think a lot of people can relate to. I'm 61 years old, so, I've got more life behind me, presumably, than I have ahead of me. But a lot of those lessons and challenges that I experienced, I put into this book. And I was reading it the other day, and it's almost, I think I need a sequel to it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's fine.
Yeah.
We need more positive influence, so that sounds good.
Yeah. And then the other book I wrote with Jude Davidson. Jude Davidson is involved in the Pasadena seminar. And I don't know if you know June, but she's been around a long time. Absolutely. I co-wrote my second book with her, and it's 101 tips for professional women for financial abundance. And believe it or not, even women that have a significant number of assets and money in the bank still worry about being homeless or still worry about being broke, right? So this book was written very short, bite-sized tips to keep that abundance mindset and positivity. So it's not a big read, but it's an easy read, the kind of thing you'd want to read maybe one blurb every day, one tip.
Great. That's great. We're talking with Ted Moreno. He's a hypnotherapist and coach, performance coach. And tell us a little bit more about some of the performance coaching that you do too.
Well, the performance coaching comes in when somebody comes and says, hey, I'm involved in a production, a theatrical production, and I want to get over my stage fright. Or, I get seniors coming to me that are running marathons, and they're like, I want to increase my time.
Wow.
Or better my time at a marathon, right? So this is the kind of coaching that I do. Or there are people that I work with, people in their 60s and 70s that are still working, right? And they want to have the energy and the motivation to compete with younger, maybe even sharper or more tech-enabled people. So they want to have that belief, that confidence, that trust that they still have what it takes. And so those aspects are a large part of the coaching that I do when I'm working with seniors. It's all really about mindset.
Nice. Oh, absolutely. I think mindset is so important. One of our viewers, Suzette, she's asking, what is the name of the book, the woman's book again that you?
It's 101 tips for financial prosperity for professional women. So if you go to Amazon.com and type in Ted Moreno or Ted A. Moreno, it'll come up. 101 tips for professional women.
Great. That sounds fantastic. Well, I want to wish you a very wonderful weekend, and I thank you so much for the work that you do with seniors. And I know people can get a hold of you at tedmoreno.com, and your phone number is there if you want to announce that as well. And
yeah, you can reach me at 626-826-0612 or tedmoreno.com. If you want to check out my podcast, Ted in Your Head, you can go to tedinyourhead.com.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you. And I'd like to have you come back on. Maybe we can talk with a few seniors about some things that are concerning them and see if we can turn some things around with them.
I'd love to come back.
Sounds great. Yeah. Thanks so much, Ted. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. My pleasure.
All right. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and I don't think that. Steve's coming back. He hears me, so let me bring him back on. Bring him back into the screen. Yeah, I wonder what he's up to. What are you doing?
This weekend, actually, speaking of amazing seniors, I'm going to Little Tokyo. My friend's dad is a one-man band, and he's playing down there. I believe it's at Weller Court tonight till 8.
Oh my
So I'm gonna go
gosh.
watch him play.
We need to have him on the show. Will you take some pictures of him and see if
I
he'll
will.
talk about him?
He's got an amazing story. There was actually a documentary about him that won a bunch
Really?
of awards years ago. Yeah, he's a great guy, just a great person, a great human,
How
and
interesting.
an amazing artist.
Wow. What's his name? Do you have his name?
Arthur Nakane,
Nice.
Nakane. He
Okay.
plays, back in the day, I haven't seen him play in a while. He used to play 11 instruments at the same time.
Oh my gosh. That has got to be such great brain flexibility and fitness too. That's amazing. That's wonderful.
I can't strum a banjo, and he's got a harmonica, and he's got foot pedals for his drums, and a guitar, and yeah, he's
that's
amazing.
really fabulous. So I'm really excited. I think some of our viewers know that that we're in the Pasadena Tournament of Roses together, and we worked with the honorees a few years back, and that included Harvard. The one and only time that they played in the Rose Bowl was 100 years ago, 2020. And you know, it was an amazing event, and then they were also the first ones to cancel their football schedule, and now they've got their football schedule back up. So that's pretty exciting. It looks like life is coming back, and people are coming back to to life and to
yes. We
group
had an amazing class, and I know they're working on the upcoming class, and the people that they're talking about are just as amazing, if not more so.
Oh, I bet. So stay tuned for that. We'll be able to talk more about that as that rolls out. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great weekend. Well, you have a great weekend and watching the show.
What are you doing?
My son is moving. He bought a house, and so he's moving, and I told him I would help set him up in his kitchen and make sure that, you know, things are kind of set up for him. He and his girlfriend.
Such a great mom.
So, oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun. It's nice to be able to do that for your kids. So they don't need you very much when they're adults. It's nice to be able to do something for them. So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. So, anyway, thank you very much, and thanks for viewing. And we're going to start adding some more segments. We have Melinda going to start coming on and talking about fitness and nutrition, and I think we'll have some, hopefully very soon, we'll have some more segments on music. So I'm excited about that too. So you enjoy, and
have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.